Yo, yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to TC Lounge. Listen, I was gonna bring him up. Let me see if I can do this. I just removed him. All right, here we go. Listen, I gotta give him an entrance. Here we go. I got a film enthusiast. That's it. That's all you need to know. He told me. He said, "Listen, call me film enthusiast," and that's what I'm gonna do. Laurence Cameron, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey man, how's it going?
What's up, man? I had to give you an interest, man. Hey, I can't do it like at the boxing ring when they bring the box out with the rapper. Hey, listen, I can rap,
Yeah.
but listen. Listen. Oh, this is about to be a good one.
Oh,
But yeah, man. Let's see. Can you believe I have no questions written down for you, sir? So you
oh,
like what? No, let me tell you. Normally I have them. That's all right. That's all right. You won't be the first one. I did it before. But all right, oh boy, look, we can't stop laughing. I know this is about to be a good one. Oh my goodness, boy. But yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Mister Film Enthusiast. That's what he told me to call him. But
yes, sir.
that's right. But guess what? For y'all to follow me, y'all know how I do. I'm about to call this man out. Listen, this man done wrote. I know. I gotta get. Look, I gotta give you your flowers, sir. I gotta give you your flowers. This man has wrote scripts. He writes scripts. Listen, he can have his eyes closed and write scripts. I can't even write a good script with my eyes open. This guy right here can write scripts in his sleep. He can write scripts when he's doing breakfast, shower, wherever. Mr. Lawrence, ever again. But no, I gotta call. Listen, man, and listen. I'm gonna give you. Listen, I know you know, a film enthusiast that does fit you. But he has wrote some things. I don't know if you want me to name drop, but he's wrote some things for Netflix. I'll just leave it like that. Look, Legend in the House. Let's see, what was it Jessica Jones? Is that right? Did I get it right?
Yes, I was. I
Uh
was working a little
huh.
bit on that set.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, YouTube, we just talking about it. I'm not promoting it. No copyright strike. So let me ask you. So you was on the set. All right. I mean, how was it? Like being
Wha-
on the set.
Oh gosh, it was. You're talking about a very long night, because I got to see them working on like how to prep the set for certain shoots. Like they actually had there was just like this one time, right,
Mm,
where they
yeah.
had to do a scene where where it where it had like one of those like very noirish type scenes where the you
Hmm.
have the wet asphalt and things like that. They literally had like a truck, like a water truck that was coming up the street. And they would literally water down the set. And I was like,
What?
I mean, I always knew that they had it. I always knew that they had things like that. I was just surprised to see that they actually like would bring the truck out and just like wet the whole ground and whatnot. And
Yeah.
and you would have like people walking off to the side, and you actually see people like in these like special tents,
Hmm.
like they would have like all these monitors, and they would just check to see like well, from take to take and things like that. And I got to be in the midst of that to see that and like help out in the background, things like that. But yeah,
Oh.
it was always it's a great experience when you're on like a set.
Mm. Wow. Listen, that's good, man. Listen, I'm still laughing about before we came on, man. Let me tell y'all something. Me and Lauren, listen, the way we talking, this is how we talk off camera. We be talking about all kind of movie stuff. I mean, it just comes natural. So y'all gonna have to excuse us if we start bust out laughing. Hey, we just having fun. But so that's cool, man. Like being on a set. Wow. So the scene was supposed to like a wet dark kind of scene, or I mean you don't have to
well,
go into it, but yeah.
well, yeah, because you have to remember that Jessica Jones is a private eye, so
That's okay.
she's so the setting is going to take place in like in the streets in an urban in like an urban atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And where I was at the time, they were doing it. like right off of Prince Street, New York City.
Okay.
So I managed to like get some time off and like go over there and look at it, and also help as like one of the background people.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when after being there, I mean, I had been in like Soho before, but to actually see that and realize how gorgeous the street was, and I said, I mean, someone really took their time out to like really pick the right street for this scene. It's
Mm-hmm.
and to see all those people coming together with that, I thought it was just impressive. It's always an impressive experience to see that, and it's always impressive to know that you're living in a city where they actually did that, quite like
Mm-hmm.
where they make movies all the time. Like for instance, a good example. You remember the movie Malcolm X?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, there is a scene in the movie, right, where Denzel Washington is saying a speech, and he's like on like a podium, and he's standing in front of a diamond store.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the scene where he's like saying, "You've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked," and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would cross that street late at night at the time when that movie was being made. I would
Mm-hmm.
cross that street. It was on 3rd Avenue between 120th and 121st Street, but it was
Okay.
all the way up in East Harlem when they shot
Mm.
that scene. And even some of the storefronts that you would see there, especially there was a scene in there when they were like, I think they were marching, and
Mm-hmm.
also when he would go into this club called Smalls.
Okay. Yeah.
When you look at that movie and you see those scenes there, like when you see those storefronts, all of that was on 3rd Avenue in East Harlem. And I
Wow.
would cross, and like late at night would cross that street, and they would have all the uh like the police crossing things that would block off the street, and
Mm-hmm.
it would be cordoned off so that whenever you drove down that street, you couldn't turn down 3rd Avenue, because I believe it was like a hot set. But
Yeah.
when you would cross down there, and I would see that constantly around the time when they were making it. And I said,
Okay.
oh. And then I was so surprised to see that, to like to actually see that when the movie finally came out. And I said, oh, I know that street because I live like a few blocks from here. I would cross up and
Yeah.
down that street constantly. I said, oh gosh. So
Wow.
there was like, I mean, there's like, I believe there's like, I think there was like 3 movies that I can think of
Mm-hmm.
that was shooting like in my area, because you had Malcolm X, and I believe he also did Bamboozle. This is Spike Lee's
Mm-hmm.
movies.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, he did Bamboozle, and I think he shot a scene. I didn't see the movie, but I know that he shot a scene that was like maybe, I guess, the street over where my old housing project was,
Mm-hmm.
where my housing project and where my grade school that I used to go to, PS 112 and PS 206. I used to go there. Right across from there, like at that time, I think there was only like a schoolyard, but there was on that street, right there. I think it is. I think it's 119th Street. It was 119th Street,
Mm-hmm.
right off of Pleasant Avenue. There, he shot a scene there, and I even was standing in the schoolyard at the time when they were doing. I was talking to a PA at the time when they did that. So that was
Mm-hmm.
one movie. So there's 2 movies already with like Spike Lee, and then there's another movie which was a
Mm-hmm.
huge, it's like a huge action movie. It was called U.S. Marshals. You remember that movie, U.S. Marshals?
Yeah, I remember that movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a scene in that movie where uh, a character named, I think, Mark Sheridan, played by Wesley Snipes.
Mm-hmm.
His character is supposed to be escaping from Tommy Lee Jones's character, and he's like swinging, like he drops off this
Mm-hmm.
building and he swings. When he's on the roof and he's looking down, when you look at the street below,
Mm-hmm.
That street is 125th Street. That's where I
Oh
used to live.
wow. See, I'm gonna
Right
have to
there,
listen.
125th Street, and right there where the railroad tracks is. That's the train going on. That's the Metro North. That can
Oh
lead you all the way to Connecticut.
wow.
So
I learned.
when I see that, when you're in an area that's when you're in the midst of all that, it's
Mm,
always fascinating and it's like a sight to behold.
mm, wow. Listen, I'm like, now I'm gonna have to watch the movie again. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't remember none of this. Yeah, so I was like, but I do know the movie though. But man, that's cool. Like, so you was actually that's historical. You was actually around the time when they were shooting Malcolm X. You was there, like walking that
Well,
whole.
I wasn't walking within the crowd, but the thing is, because it was always at night when I would go
Uh,
there. But when you look at that location, and when you think of
mm,
when you see the movie and you see the location, I know
yeah.
where the location is.
Okay.
So if you were to come into the city, right,
Mm-hmm.
I would actually take you to the street where they actually shot that. I recognize where the building was on that street because it would be the street that I would always cross down on
Mm-hmm.
120th heading home.
Mm-hmm.
I would see that street. I would show you the street where they did it
Wow.
because I,
Mm.
I know the area. I used to live there.
Oh, sorry, I had bugs over there.
Understood.
you,
Understood.
you know how it is. It won't have a guest appearance while you talking. I guess it want to be on camera too. But I just felt it. I'm like, wait a minute now, what's going on? But that's cool, man. So hold up, before we go any further, I'm gonna pull up some of these. Look, I can't get it together, Lord. So some of these comments, right? I'm pretty sure you at least know 4 out of 5 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop them. So look, we ain't even started like the show yet, right? And this awesome person decided to say this. There you go. First thing, look, it looked like yeah, party, yeah, right. So then you come on and she says, "Oh yeah,
How you do?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah." She watching. She down there. She watching. She on the other side. Watching, other side of the house somewhere. And then look, hey, she giving you big ups. Look at this. Look at this. Look, listen. That's it. She already know. She knows. That's why she said it. She already know, man. She like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me turn this mic down a little bit. All right. And then, she had to give props, man. So, she decided to bring up somebody that was really important to you. When you start talking about the scenes and stuff like that, check this out.
Yeah, Mr. Porton.
Man, that's
Yeah, that is a man that I will certainly never forget because during my time in high school, I told him how much I wanted to be into theater, how had a big interest for it,
mm-hmm,
and this was what I think maybe my third year in high school, but it was much earlier than that. See, in my high school, they had this thing where you could actually go to see Broadway plays for like $5 at night,
oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
and I would ask my mom if I could go and see that, and she would sign out the permission slip, turn in the $5, and I saw quite a few plays, musicals during that
Mm-hmm.
time. The first play uh, that I saw, the first musical was called Play On, and it
Mm-hmm.
was the slogan I think was, "If music be food for love, play on." So
Wow.
I saw that I saw that musical. I saw Les Miserables. I
Mm-hmm.
saw Miss Saigon, and then uh, I also saw this play, but I think this was like years later because I think this was when I finally got into his class because he was my English teacher. It was my third year, I believe. Yeah, it was my third year in class in high school, and I went and I saw this play, this musical called The Cape Man.
Okay.
And in that movie, it was not the movie, the play.
Mm-hmm.
The musical was starring was it Ruben Blades and Mark Anthony.
Okay.
And I believe at the time it was considered like controversial because the play was based on traumatic event, like somewhere in the I think somewhere in New York, like in the late 50s, early 60s, something like that. And there was this gang member who wore a cape, and he had killed a couple of kids, and he went to prison for it. So they did a play based on that. And I think there was some outrage over why you should make a musical based on that. But I thought it was a very entertaining play. And afterwards, when the whole thing was finished, our whole class got a chance to actually sit in the second row and talk with the actors. And Ruben Blades was there, and Mark Anthony was there. You know who Mark Anthony is, right? Right.
Yeah.
So they're standing in a row, and we even had the pleasure of talking with another actor named Edward James Olmos, and he was standing in. Yeah. He was standing with all the cast of the play, and we were asking him all these questions, and I was like putting my hand up, like saying like asking this particular question to Mark Anthony, and I asked him, and he could see that I was struggling trying to ask this question, and when when I finally got their attention, he like looked at me. He was going like, "Hey," like shaking his head up, like saying victory. So I asked him, what drove you to want to do this play? And he said it was the music. The music that is what got him to want to do the play. So I was able to have that kind of an experience, seeing that thanks to Mr. Porton. There was also some other great plays that I saw. Like I got a chance to see the Sunshine Boys with Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. They were like I can't say that they were the original Odd Couple, but they came out after Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau did their thing on the movies. They played the Odd Couple in the movies. Tony Randall and Jack Klugman, they became the Odd Couple for television. So here they were, much older, and they did a theater production called the Sunshine Boys. And I got to see them work, and that was such a funny play. It was a beautiful play. I just love that. And it's like, I'm not much for comedy, but when you see, I think the play was written by Neil Simon. When you see a play like that, or play like The Odd Couple, the play of like the Sunshine Boys, that is genuine comedy, man. That is comedy. None of this comedy where doing like some of these lewd sexual jokes or anything like that. People acting like total buffoons. I mean, real down home comedy. That's the real stuff right there. And to see these guys, showing so much enthusiasm, because we got a chance to talk to them after when the play ended, and he was talking about how here this man Jack Klugman is still doing this thing after going through surgery for throat cancer, because he had suffered throat cancer and he had surgery, and his voice became much more raspy, but that did not affect him in any way when he did that performance.
Wow. And
then there's like a few others. I mean, I can rail off like a whole bunch, because like A View from the Bridge. Like you ever hear of an actress named Brittany Murphy?
Yep.
She did a production of A View from the Bridge, which was a play written by Arthur Miller, and she starred along with an actor named Anthony LaPaglia. and it was at the Roundabout Theater. I saw that. That was a great play, and
Oh
that's
wow.
like very interactive because you had a stage that was like a circle, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you would have performers. You had like one performer in particular who was actually performing a scene off stage. Like I think it was like towards the end of the play, you have
Mm-hmm.
one of the actors screaming out an actor's name or the character's name that he's playing. That's called Eddie Carboni, and he was like standing like at the top of the where all the seating is. It's like because there's a
Yeah.
door like right up the top, and we all looking up, and I'm saying we see this guy standing there, and he just runs down the steps and onto the stage. I said, "What? You actually can do this?"
Wow.
So to
Mm.
see all these plays and actually see where it all starts, to see what real theater is, because
Mm-hmm.
that's tough. Because because the pacing is dictated by the actors.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have cameras, you don't have editing. The whole pacing is dictated by the performances of the characters. That's when you realize, that's when you understand the real crust of theater,
Mm-hmm.
because when you see that, you realize that any story that you're dealing with, whether you're writing like writing a book, writing a screenplay, all that, you can come up with any sort of plot or story model you can think of. But as long as you have great characters, you've got yourself a good story, because plot and character are interlocked.
Mm-hmm.
If you affect one, it's going to affect the other. So if you're going to worry about, if you're the kind of person who's going to be writing like plot driven stories, well,
Mm-hmm.
obviously the characters have to be, it's going to be dictated by the plot, because it's all about the choices that they make. So whatever
Yep.
choices that they're making is going to be due to what the plot dictates. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're focusing on the characters and their decisions and their pitfalls, their journey, that's going to give structure to the plot of the story, whatever plot you're coming up with. That's a character driven story,
Mm-hmm.
because it's all about what they're doing.
Yeah.
You don't have like a second or a third act uh, unless the characters lead you into that area. See
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah. Wow. Look at you dropping nuggets. Now, I'm gonna have to go back and explain to people in layman's terms what he said. I'm just playing. I'm just messing with. But let me stop. But man, that's real. Like we about to get into it, man. Let me go through some more comments. Donzel, what's up? Cool guy. Look, he applauds you. I appreciate you. Thank you, man, for coming on. And
Thank
let's see
you.
who else we got. Here we go. T Hunter, what's up? Look, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay, yeah. Look,
Yeah.
you got support. Hey, see, it's a beautiful thing, man. When you get support.
Yeah,
So
it is.
yeah,
Really is.
so yeah, so all righty, cool. Before we go any further, listen, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to wife. Look, she be looking out. She making sure help me remember my stuff. I gotta have cue cards. Those are my cue cards. Make sure make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and then just share it. Let everybody know that we on with the film enthusiasts. Listen, if y'all listen long enough, you can hear the enthusiasm in his voice as we talking about film. Listen up. Hey, when he started off, he was all calm with it. But the more he talk about movies, hey, y'all heard it. We talk about film and everything. He gonna get into it. Look, there you go. Look, there go another hand clap. Listen. A round of applause, ladies. Look, he clapping for himself. Listen to this. Hey, that's it. Yeah. listen, it's like you on stage doing plays, sir. Listen, everybody giving you a round of applause, man. Good
All
gracious,
right.
it's a beautiful thing, man. But wow, so many things. Look, I done got so hyped. Look, I done unplugged wires over here and everything. So, but let's see. Question. Uh oh. Might have froze on me. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna try to see if we can bring it back up. Let's see if we can bring him back up. We're gonna give him a few minutes to try to come back up. So anyway, yeah, he gonna bring him back up in a minute. But let me tell y'all something real quick about movie. Well, let me break it in. I didn't even give honor to God. Thank you, Lord, for giving me opportunity to even have this podcast. If I couldn't have done without him, he's opening doors for me. So let me while he's waiting to come back up, we gonna while he's waiting, we're gonna try to get him to come back up. But I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I'm gonna be transparent when it comes to movies. So God blessed me to do movies and plays. So a lot of stuff that he's talking about, I know exactly what he's talking about. I can say it now. I think. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. So I was blessed to be on the Wonder Woman set. All right. Um, Shout out to that person, and they know who they are. I don't know if they're watching it. Who actually opened that door for me? Um, it's a beautiful thing. If you like film, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, he's back up, so I'm gonna bring it back up, ladies and gentlemen. Here he goes again. We're gonna try this again. All right, sir, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know what happened there.
Hey man, you got so excited, it froze on you. Listen, man. Hey, we gotta keep your energy. We gotta keep your energy level here, man. You doing too much, man. I'm just.
Oh God.
I just saw a joke, but no. Hey, you came at the perfect time. So I was just telling them while I was waiting for you to come back on. I was of course thanking God. God gives opportunities. You know what I'm saying? I got to give him honor, give it what it is. But I was telling them that I think I told you. I believe it. Yep, I did. I was honored to get a chance to be on the Wonder Woman set, Wonder Woman 84. Right. First time being on was it my first time? Yeah, massive film set like that. But the thing is, I had been doing other films around my area, the area I'm in. So I already had a good idea how the flow go. Somebody here quiet on the set. It's obvious, just quiet on the set. So, but man, look, I'm telling you, like the thing about you said about late nights. Let me tell you something. We got there, man, late night. Cause with the scene, well, I'll just say this. There was the train scene. You know what I'm talking about? Have you watched it? Have you seen it? Well, I didn't get too much to it, but when she was giving a tour, when she was giving yeah. So they told me we had to be there, I think 11 o'clock at night. Cause they had to make sure I'll tell you what's it was in DC. They had to stop make sure our train stopped running, and then once they had that, then we could shoot it. So man, let me tell you something. I was good at first. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was good. I was wide awake, but as the hours kept going, getting later and later and later, I was falling asleep. I was falling. Oh, and another thing, let me tell you something. They made sure that we can have our phones, but they made sure no footage got out whatsoever. They made us, and I'm not. Listen, it's why. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they made sure, no, put some tape on it, and I looked at it, couldn't look through the tape at all. Oh, but I gotta say this, they fed us, man. I ain't never been fed like that. Listen, I went to somewhere disclosed, like maybe miles away from there. I'll say Alexandria, like one of the areas there, disclosed. They had food there, man. They had a lot of food. So I ate something, I ain't think nothing of it. A few minutes later, we get on the bus. We're driving. They ain't tell exactly where. It gets dark. We pull up to another set. Do you know when we came, I'm thinking we was about to start shooting? No. They had more food, sir. I'm talking about a table full. Listen, they had the what's that thing? Chocolate fountain. I'm not making this up. They had food. Oh my goodness, sir. I don't know how we all stayed awake when we were shooting the scenes. There was only one, but man, I'm telling you, they have food everywhere. Like I chowed down. That's all I gotta say. Cause I didn't expect to get food so soon. They literally had food. I guess I waited too late. The first time they brought food was like an hour later. And hey, listen.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
that's not what I meant. Hold on. I gotta clean it up for she be like, oh my goodness. No, Listen. Let me fix this real quick. What I was saying was, I've been fed like that. Listen. But I'm talking about they had two big old giant 12-seater, like 12-seater tables. Like they was stretched out. It was enough food for about 500. I'm just making it up, but it was a couple hundred people. But no, shout out to the wife. She made some good food. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
gotta give her props because I would be like, hey, wait a minute, what you mean you been fed like that? But she don't mean like that. It's all in fun. But yeah, what I was saying was before I met her. There you go. That's it. There, I was about to say, and I look, you see how God worked? That's how I know. Look, she put it right before I could say. I was about to say that was right before and before I could finish, she said that's right before. Yep. Look, see, good job,
Yeah,
teamwork.
they
We
they
can work
served
it
us.
out.
They served us quite a bit on the Jessica
No,
Jones set too. That was
mm,
pretty. That was pretty extensive.
I bet, man, because I'm just like, the way they did, but man, it was a lot of food. I couldn't eat it all. We couldn't even bring it with us. Well, anyway, it's going to something else. But the coolest thing with me is that, side note, I have to bring this up. Look, look, she already know. Listen, we both know how she can cook. Listen, I think
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
we listen.
That's for
It's a little
sure.
off topic. I know we're supposed to be talking about movies, but food goes well with movies. I feel like one of the next podcasts I do, I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to see if I can get it to come up here. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you have an empty stomach, cause yeah. But yeah, what I was saying was before you came back on, I was telling people I was like, it's amazing. Like if people, this is what people want to do, you know what I'm saying? Especially you can get on that, like get on a film set. It's nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I had been doing film sets here and there, but I never done a major project like that. And I was just like, it wasn't like, how can I put this? On the inside, I was like, oh man, I was cool with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I was trying to pretend that's what it wasn't. Because I ain't gonna go too much into how they put movies together, but they have. Let's just say it this way, for the sake of not getting in trouble and getting copyright struck. They have a thing called a working title. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So I only knew the working title. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Working title. And they're like, no, sir, it's actually this movie. And I'm like, no, whatever. But I was trying to like pretend like it wasn't what it was to keep me humble. You know what I'm saying? But when I
Mhm.
found out, it was it. And I had a special role. Pretty much, I was supposed to be playing a sax down there in the subway, and I and it's just wild. But it was cool because we had the extra. What is it called? Not the. Anyway, it's the part where it's like an extra part, but it's like a special extra part. If that makes any sense, that's a word I made up. So you got people. So you got your extra to walk. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your extras that might do something like add to the like what everybody
The
adds to the
scenery.
movie. Thank you, scenery. So I was supposed to be the guy playing the saxophone, and then they had a guy who actually cleans shoes for real. So they had him do something. They had a skateboarder, right? So we was in that group. So she walked by. It was pretty cool, gal.
Gal
It's
Gadot.
one of everybody's like, yeah, yeah. It was like, oh, that was cool. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, there she goes. Like, what's up? She walked past and spoke. It was pretty cool. So, but yeah, when we got there, it's just and I seen the doubles too. I want to tell you that too. I was like, oh, okay. So it's like when you're on the scene, you get to see it, especially if that's what you like. You know what I'm saying? It just do something like it's like somebody who really like to play ball. You know what I'm saying? You get them on a
Hmm.
court, that's it. Or they want to watch a game, that's it. So that's what I felt like. And I was just telling the people, I was like, it was amazing to be on that set. I was tired when I left. I ain't gonna lie. I thank God for helping me get to my cousin. Shout out to my cousin. I don't know if she on here, but I had to have a place to stay, and she made sure to look out for me while I was up there in near DC. So I thank God for it because I honestly didn't have a room. So wait a minute, what happened? What are eyes for? I gotta talk to her. But no, what I was saying was it was cool because they had people come. I got to meet a lot of stars. Met her and met the guy I can't remember his name. Um, and it
What?
was just
Chris
cool.
Pine.
Thank you. Yeah, the guy because he played in Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So it was just cool to see them do their scene and also see them had their doubles do the scene. So, but you know, I was on the scene anyway. We'll go to it later, but you know, I if you blink, you might miss me in the movie. Yeah,
Right.
actually, I'm not in the movie at all. But anyway, but no, jokes aside, it was cool to be here, and even the skateboarder, because he was supposed to be in there, and there was not that scene was not in the movie, but there was
Hmm.
a skateboarder that actually he had to purposely skate through him and hit him on purpose, like trying to get through. So he yeah, they did that scene about 15, 10, 15 times, probably more than that. So they kept walking past me. I kept seeing it happen. I just had to pretend like I was playing. I thought I was gonna play a song for real. It didn't happen. I was blowing on a rusty instrument. They said they need an 80s instrument. I'm like, what's wrong with my instrument? What they was telling me is they wanted a rusty saxophone. That's what they wanted. They didn't want me playing nothing. They wanted an antique. So that I just add to the scenery.
Right.
But man, but anyway, I know it's my little story, but yeah, we're supposed to be talking about you. So I will let's switch gears a little bit. I'm gonna show a video. I want to let y'all know right now. Y'all probably better hear the video for the sake of I'm not trying to get copyright strike. I'm not trying to get no copyright strike. You know we trying to stay. So I'm gonna show you this video. Yeah, I want y'all to see this. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm gonna do like a no. I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna do the one we just saw. I can't find it. Yes, I can. All right. Here we go. So I'm gonna let it play. Here we go. All right, y'all. I'm trying to pull it up real quick. Check it out.
Hi there, I'm Homer
Listen here,
Simpson.
y'all.
Welcome to our crazy little world. Let me introduce you to my family, friends, and some of the other
So,
colorful folks in Springfield.
y'all
First up,
notice
there's my
anything?
lovely wife, Marge.
Lawrence
She's
already
the
know.
glue that holds
I'm
this
asking
family
crowd. I
together
wanna see-
with her
y'all
patience
notice
and love.
anything?
And check out her hair.
I'm only gonna
Isn't
play
it
a snippet
something?
of it, by the
Next,
way.
we've got my boy,
So,
Bart. He's a little troublemaker, always getting into mischief.
Something
But deep
that
down,
we both
he's
know.
got a heart of gold. Just don't
Alright,
tell him I
let y'all
said
watch
that.
it.
Then
This
there's
is supposed
Lisa,
to, you know,
our
this
little
is supposed to be the
genius.
next
She's the smartest one in the family by a
Simpsons
mile.
movie that's coming
Always
out.
reading, always thinking, and always trying to make the world a better
I'm just gonna
place.
play a little
Now,
bit of it.
there's Ned Flanders, our next door neighbor. He's a bit too perfect
Oh,
sometimes,
my
but you gotta love him.
Alright, we're gonna
We've
let
got
it
my
play.
buddies from work,
We're gonna
Lenny
let
and
it play.
Carl.
I don't know how long
We share a lot of laughs at the power
There's a
plant.
lot of characters. in
Speaking
it,
of
right?
which, my
That's
boss,
it.
Mr. Burns, is always around to make my job interesting, and his loyal assistant, Smithers, is always by his side. Mo, the grumpy bartender at Moe's Tavern, is where I spend a lot of my time
Anyway,
unwinding.
I'm just gonna pause it right there.
Hmm.
All right. So, oops. No, we're just gonna leave it up for a second. Nah, we're gonna take it down. So, let me ask you: was that AI? Or was that real?
I would take it that looks like it was AI.
Yup, indeed it was. Now, you knew that. I'm sure everybody watching knew that too. So my question is, now we got people putting out trailers, and it's nothing against them. You know what I'm saying? It's talent. I'm gonna put that out because again, you know how they like to run with people words. You know what I'm saying? So with the technology of AI out now, and people are coming out with trailers, how is that affecting the actors, the actual actors? How's that affecting like the music that too, but the movie scene altogether? From what you know, I know it's kind of broad, but I'm sure you can kind of figure it out.
Well, you see, I would say it at this stage. I mean, well, probably don't need to worry too much about AI, but if they continue to perfect AI, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to strip away the importance of the actor.
Mm.
Because, for one thing, um, do you ever see the movie Sin City?
Yep. I know.
Yeah, with Robert Rodriguez, right?
Mm-hmm.
The use of technology that he was able to create. First of all, he put that in there because he wanted to try and hone in on the graphic novel. But if memory serves, that movie, a lot of times when they would shoot the scenes, the actors weren't even in the same room with each other when they did those scenes. So
Okay.
like if you like happen to like see like maybe some sort of part in a scene where I guess where a character is like nude or doing something, they probably were in there by themselves and they just somehow cut and paste the other actor in.
Okay.
And then you have animation where you have people just drawing stuff like whether it was like doing like actual drawings or they were doing sort of designs on a computer, and all they need is the actors' voices.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, even though these are just forms of just different forms of the medium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sad to say, it was also a foreshadow of where the industry was going. Because if you're able to do a movie where you could shoot a scene in a way where the actors don't have to interact with each other on set, where you have animation where all you need is the actors' voices, now AI comes into the fray. What do you think is going to happen now? If you have AI that does so much work as far as capturing the likeness of an actor, capturing the voice of an actor, all you need is that the AI to just copy all that stuff, store it in some memory bank somewhere or some sort of storage unit. And do you think they'll need the actors anymore after that? All they gotta do is just pick it up on the AI and just generate the whole image for themselves. I even tried out an AI video, and it still needs a little work, but it's over there. It's getting to that point, and it's scary. It's scary what the AI can come up with. I mean, like I said, it's still not as on point because I was working, like Chat GPT. I was like asking a series of questions, especially when it dealt with movies and sort of like directors, things like that. And there was one time where the AI sort of gave me a wrong answer. It was like a minor mistake, but everything else, basically, it was 90 to 95% functional. Excuse me. As far as the information that it was spewing, it was on point with that. So with a little more work, it's going to be exceptional. So as in terms of with the actors and with the industry, it's going to be a tool that's going to literally dominate. And the whole idea of performing arts, it's just going to be stripped away because of what the AI can do. So I would say, yeah, the actors should have a cause for concern in that regard.
Wow. And I was trying to look up something while you was talking. And man, yeah, that's deep. Like, and somebody, well, I ain't gonna get too much into it, but it's like, man, it's kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? For some people, not scary for us, but it's probably scary for somebody to know that they can just take the voice. Like they got sites now, and I've used some of them because people talk about it. I just wanted to see where, even though it's AI, they wouldn't know. Cause they when they type out whatever they're typing out, the person sounds like an actor. So it's like what's real and what's not. Cause literally somebody, if they wanted to, and I'm sure they already have, they probably have somebody who, I'm just saying, they probably took their own voice and have a conversation with AI, like a conversation or did a whole entire scene and didn't need nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. So let's see, this is 2024. So do you think years from now, do you think it's gonna be any real actors in movies? Or is this gonna be straight up AI digital type of stuff?
In my honest opinion, I say it would be dependent on the actors themselves, because I feel that if they want, like, let's forget about AI for a moment. Let's talk about projects, like certain projects that actors want to do. you can't really necessarily expect the studios to have any sort of concern about doing good projects. They're caring about commercial projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why you see all of these reboots, remakes, because it already has like this fan base that they could just sort of like latch onto and say like, if we put out this movie here, if we put out like a superhero movie here or do a remake there, we're going to garner some money because there's already a fan base attached to it. So if we get to them,
Mm-hmm.
we're already making some money right there. But the thing is, here's the thing that they're missing. You can go ahead and get a good cash grab because you got this commercial idea, but you
Mm-hmm.
still have a group of people who are going to come to the movies, and then if they look at it and see that it's garbage, they're going to go back and tell their friends, hey, don't bother watching with this thing. You see, you have to make a good enough movie to attract the audience, but you still have to do some good work to get a bigger audience.
Right.
When you take the time out to do some good work, that's when you will flourish.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time now, because they're so concerned with just doing commercial movies, there may be some movies that the actors don't want to do. They say like, look, I mean, I don't want to be pigeonholed. Like, I don't want to be doing the same sort of character in like a superhero movie or the same sort of character in this particular franchise. I want to broaden my horizons as an actor. I want to play other characters. I want to do other stories. And there was a time when they had a chance to do that, and that was when you had movies that were coming out on like VHS or DVD and Blu-ray. When you had like the video rental houses where you had like this one movie that came out and then left the theaters and then finally goes into the video rental houses. It was like the movie just came out all over again. And I think there's a video somewhere out there where Matt Damon talks about this. But the thing is, it was really like there was really like re-advertising as though there was re-advertising at the first time when it was in theaters. And then you have people who would come out, they would go into the video houses, video rental places, and they would like see a video here, and they may not even watch the movie when they take it home. But the thing is, once you grab that copy, go up to the cash register, to the guy behind the counter. Pay that money for that rental. The money that you pay is going to be taken into account somewhere where it's going to add up, and someone is going to be keeping track of that revenue. And I think that was how Jason Bourne got a second movie, because I think the first one I think did okay in the theaters, but it was the fact that it was constantly being rented in the video stores that they did the Bourne Supremacy. It was because of the video rentals. And
I didn't know
that was the joy of the video rentals, where they could actually not only do movies that were like supposedly going to be these big blockbusters, but they could also do like these small little movies here and there. May not do much money in the movie theaters, but then when it went to the video rentals, that's a different story. People are going to want to see something that will catch their eye a lot, and they'll be more receptive to that, and they will rent the movies and take them home and watch them and enjoy them even more in their own time. But now that that's gone, and all the sort of so-called original work that you got to see is on streaming networks.
Yep. And
who can say that the streaming networks are more of a hindrance rather than a help? Because I don't think they're making too much money with those. I mean, you don't quote me on that, because I've been hearing that there was like a lot of struggles with things being put on streaming networks, where as far as like revenue is concerned, because I think you have to deal with like advertising and things like that. But the thing is, because the streaming networks has come into play, it has affected the industry greatly. And the only way you're going to find like original work of some kind is on the streaming networks. You're not going to find it in the movie theaters anymore. And the only way you're going to get any interesting movies in theaters at all is if the artists, whether it's the directors or the actors, fight for it. You literally have to say, look, I don't want to keep doing this. I want to do something else. And I want to put it out there. That's why a lot of the actors now, I think, are producers on a lot of their films, because they are pushing these movies. They have to push it. I mean, look at the whole thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm sure that a lot of that had to deal with the fact, not just with the people at Marvel. I think a lot of that had to deal with Ryan Reynolds and the director, because they're working so closely together and saying, we want to do a good movie. We want to do a good work for the audience.
Yeah.
And then there's also another good example, Clint Eastwood. Now there's a man who really he does some fantastic work as a director. But do you think a lot of the movies that he was directing, the studio was behind him? That they would say, yeah, sure, let's do this. Let's do this. It just seems like an interesting thing to work with. Or do you think that he was the one who had to put his foot down and say, I want to do this? And it wasn't really the studio. Yeah.
I think it was the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that these artists have to fight for these projects, to fight for to do some original work. And if they don't fight for it, then the powers that be are going to come in and do things their own way, in which case that's when AI will have its foot in the door and will just take over like a virus. So it's really up to the artists to decide how they want the future of film to go. Because even when it comes to like shooting like movies on actual film or doing things digitally, it's all up to the artist. How far or how hard are you going to fight to shoot your movie on film, while technology is coming in and it's going to like take it away, where they're going to try and have digital filmmaking try and mimic what film looks like.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of how hard they fight.
Man, you just said a mouthful. Listen, I gotta say, we was talking about like the video stores and stuff. Hey, look, she know. Listen, she know. She already know. Listen,
Blockbuster. Yeah.
How can we not? No copyright strike, YouTube. But look, listen. Do you know there's what we talking about? Blockbuster. Let me bring it back up. Yeah, Blockbuster. Oh. Shout out. Look, what's up, Audrey? Hey.
Hey, Audrey.
He said, hey. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you, Audrey, for tuning in. So, do you know, I don't know if you heard of it. There's they got a documentary about the last Blockbuster in the United States. They had a comedy about Blockbuster. There you go, sir. Got a message for you.
Hey, thank you.
So, but yeah, and let me bring it up. That's, wow. Man, like you said a lot. I'm trying to go with what to ask you. So, all right, that's interesting. You said that. So you said, which is deep. I didn't even think about that. I've noticed a lot of the movies. I've watched the credits, and it'll say the people that star in it. They're the producers. Either be executive producer or just producers, or And I'm
they always have that title sense. That says PGA. There's always that. PGA. There's always that. Those last three letters that's at the end of their name, PGA.
Okay.
I think it's like Producers Guild of America.
Oh, okay, that's right. So, man, that's deep. Like I didn't even realize that. Oh, well, yeah, and I ain't gonna get too much into it because you just brought it up about Wolverine and stuff. Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna like talk about it too long because I'm sure enough people saw it. Man, somebody said they had never in their entire life seen a promotion as big as that. This dude, they did so many promotion crossovers. It was wild. I'm talking about. Look, again, YouTube. No, look, I gotta keep telling them because you know they be sensitive about when I start talking about, well, not me, but other people. Look, Ryan Reynolds then took off and start doing commercials for the Bachelorette. They came out with Xbox controllers. It was crazy, and, and then they traveled all over the world. It was crazy, man. Like I was sitting up there, and I'm not gonna tell you exactly what kind of controller it was, just for the sake of I wouldn't buy one. Yeah, just go look it up, man. It was ridiculous. And
A
then of course they
controller,
had
you
the
said?
Wolver, yeah, the controller. Like,
Okay.
listen, oh man. Nah, I think I'm okay with it. I just brace yourself. Like, I don't know why he did this. I'm not gonna go into like his ethics or whatever, why he went this way, but it was just like controller and shape controller. Oh, controller shaped like butts. That's all I'm gonna say. I normally don't ever take it that far, but it was on a commercial, and I'm sitting there like, "Are you serious?" Yeah, I'm not making this up, sir. If you go, if you go, I'm not telling you to go do it. It just happened to pop up, and I was like, "Ah, boy." Anyway, back.
Like controlling like people.
No, like the controller itself. The controller itself is shaped like a buttocks.
Oh gosh. Oh. All
Oh,
right.
Wolverine. And I'm not here to go. Look, I got one number drop. They said, oh, I don't want to hear that. Anyway, my whole point was their promotion was just off the charts. And going back to the other thing about the video, like, I mean, the video stores. I don't think people understand. Like, I feel like that was a great pastime for us. And then it just like because of live streaming. I'm not knocking live streaming because it has its pros. You know what I'm saying? Kinda. Like for example, if somebody don't want to watch a movie and they don't feel like going to the movie, but it was nothing like getting in your car and like going to the store and like picking out a movie. You know what I'm saying? It was a feel. You know what I'm talking about? Like any
Well, yeah,
because
because the thing that was so great about renting movies, I mean, first of all, we're human beings. We like doing like activities. We want to be out in the world, spend some time doing activities and things like that. And one of the things that people would do is they would go with a bunch of friends, go to a video store,
Mhm.
rent a few of the new releases that came out, or maybe chill and watch some like older movies, whatnot, like saying, "Oh, this is something we could watch on a Friday night, or maybe sometime over the weekend." Like get
Mhm.
all these people together. I mean, I remember the time when what was it? I think it was back in the '80s. I think somewhere in the '80s. But I remember when I was spending time with my dad's family, and we
Mhm.
decided that we wanted to rent the Last Dragon. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, we went across the street and we rented the Last Dragon, brought it back home, and we were just chilling, watching the videos. This is what sort of the thing that people would do. And then there's
Mhm.
also you got the movie theaters, right? It's
Yep.
like going to the movie theaters is a special event.
Listen.
People love go. I mean, people would love going there. Like they would go out there, take a date, invite a couple of friends, have your whole family there. It was something it was like a communal thing, and
Mhm.
people would go out, have a good time. It's just one of the things
Yeah.
that you did, and
Mhm.
now it's getting to a point where you can't go to the video stores anymore, so you can't hang out that way.
Nope.
And then they're also trying to I think they're getting to a point where they're trying to shut down the theaters. I mean, if you shut down the movie theaters, it's just like one more place that a person can't go. And you're saying, what can we do?
Mhm.
I mean, how
Yep.
can we how can we have a good time and or sort of connect? That was another good thing. Going to the movie theaters is a way where people, even if you didn't know them, you could connect and you could just laugh and joke while you're just sitting there watching the movie. I know I
Mhm.
do that quite a bit. I'll never
Yeah.
forget one time my well, my brother and I, we went to see the Equalizer, the first one.
Mhm. Okay.
And I'm sure many people have seen this movie by now, but there's a
Yeah.
scene where when he's attacking, when he attacks the guys at the Home Depot, like, so it's called like Home Mart, something like that. And the scene when he like takes this guy up and he hangs him off the floor with barbed wire. Okay, you got some guy down in the next row below us. He says he's looking at the thing and says, "Hey man, how's it hanging?" And we all just bust out laughing. And my brother just looks at him and looks over into him and says, "Nice one." And it's like things like that where you can enjoy. And I also remember another time when I went to see the re-release of Die Hard, and I sat with this guy, and we were just having a blast talking about that movie. It's things like that where you can just bring people together. But if you try and shut that down, what else is left? I mean, maybe we can go to the beach.
You got drive-ins.
Yeah, there's some drive-ins, that's for sure. But the thing is, it changes the way of life drastically when modern technology comes in. And that's the thing that's sad. That's the thing that scares me, where it changes so much where the joys of life is gone. That would be my greatest fear.
Wow. That's deep. Let's see. Hold on. Let's go through the comments. What's your time? I don't know what happened. We got to come back there. She said, "Nope, don't do it." I'm trying to figure what she said. Well, I'm trying. What did we say? All right. Hey, Audrey, you got to respond to that one. And then we got, here you go. Check it out. You got some more support. Shout out. Look at this.
My aunt.
It was aunt. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Aunt Annette.
Shout out to the fam for coming through. Thank you for coming through. We appreciate you. Man, that's awesome. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, make sure y'all like, comment, share. Did I say it right? Subscribe, like, comment, share. Yeah, that was it. Make sure y'all share. Let everybody know that we on with Laurence here. We talking about films. We went over a little bit. I was going in, but I think I'm gonna keep going. Oh, wait a minute. So, but yeah, make sure y'all let everybody know, comment, subscribe. We got more stuff like that coming. So anyway, let's get back to it. She said it was all about the shaking. I'm trying to remember. What were we talking about? I'm about to get back to that. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, so let's just stop right there. I mean, I'm not stop the conversation, but let's put a pin right there for a second. All right. Movie theaters. I noticed. I know you talked about films, but when we started talking about the movie theaters, I seen the enthusiast. I was like, shoot through this roof. Now, let me ask you, is it the movie or is it the experience, if that makes any sense? Or is it both?
Well, I would say it'd have to be the experience. I mean, the thing that always resonates when it comes to people going to the movies is it not only is a special event, but people want to be a part of something special. Just like if you want to go to an air show or maybe even the circus, it's a special event that you'll never forget. I mean, ask yourself this question. I mean, I wasn't born during this time, and I don't believe you were born in this time, but imagine what the people would have felt like back when The Exorcist came out in 1973, Jaws in 1975, Star Wars in 1977. How do you think those people felt when they were standing online waiting to see that movie? And when they finally get that chance, how ecstatic do you think they were when they first saw it? This is the reason why these movies are so famous, because of how people reacted to them when they saw them for the first time. How I mean, you heard about people passing out for The Exorcist, and it wasn't even for the scenes when the girl's possessed, but also because of when she's being operated on, and they stick the syringe into her neck and blood spurts out, and that's actual medical, research, things that actually happen when you're like being operated on. And then there's Jaws, how they all talk about how Jaws sort of like ruined the movie business because it was like the first blockbuster to come out, and now people are trying to measure up to movies like that. But at the same time, like it or not, it was a special feeling to actually see that and actually get chills every time when you thought the shark was coming. And then there's Star Wars, seeing visual effects like that for the first time. Oh, and let's not forget that even after that, you had another movie that came out the following year that also made a big impact. Superman, 1978.
Oh wow. Yes, sir.
Imagine how people felt when they saw that for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So the thing is, the cinema has great power to it, has great gravitas.
Yeah.
That you just want to be in the midst of. And all you got to do is pay the admission ticket.
Mm.
Go out there and see it. But nowadays, I mean, it's sad to say that it's not as impactful anymore because the level of showmanship is like diminishing. But if you had people who really cared enough, I truly believe if you have people who really care enough about the movies they make, it can be that good again.
Yeah.
And there's a very good example that I feel, a very good example of someone who can actually pull that off. And people are probably going to look at me and think I'm crazy, but I say Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is the perfect example of how movies can be great again. And let me explain why I say this.
I'm gonna say this quick. I'm laughing because I think I know what you might be about to say, but that's very true, sir. That guy's he's wild. But
he's wild. People will talk about this. The man is crazy. Why is he doing all these own stunts? You got stuntmen who can do the job. Grant you, he is putting his life on the line when he does this. However, think about all of the Mission Impossible movies, right? I want you to think about this now.
Okay.
Think about all the Mission Impossible movies and ask yourself, what is the one moment that you remember in each of those movies? You look at the first one. The first thing that comes to mind is when he's hanging in that safe room when he's trying to get the Nautilus.
Yep.
When you look at Mission Impossible 2, him on the motorcycle. When you think of when you think of Mission Impossible 3, when he gets launched up against that car, when that missile fires behind him. Remember that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Because there was an ambush and there was a missile that fired, and the force of the missile when it exploded onto the highway knocked them against the car. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So there's that. And also, even if you don't want to think of that, you can think of him running down along the river, doing that huge sprint. He loves to run. Then in Ghost Protocol, when he's hanging off the side of the building. Rogue Nation, hanging off the side of a plane.
Got hurt.
Fallout. Yeah. Fallout. The Halo jump. And then the latest one, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. For me, it's that train wreck sequence. That's probably going to be the one thing that stands out in everybody's mind with that movie. It probably may not be everyone's favorite, but the point is, the man takes the time out to create these memorable moments, and that is what's important. Think of the movie. First of all, let's go back to Superman. What I was saying, Superman. What's the one thing that stands into your mind when you think of Superman with Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder? When she's falling down from the Daily Planet building, and he catches her, and he says, "I hit. It's all right, ma'am. I got you." And she says, "You got me." Who's got you?
And you
It's a
remember it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a memorable scene. And then also I can even go further back. My favorite movie, North by Northwest, 1959. You talk about that movie, was the one scene people are going to be talking about for years and years to come. The crop dusting scene. When you think of Ben-Hur, what do you think of? The chariot race. All these memorable moments is why we still talk about these movies today.
Mm.
You can even go in further back with Lawrence of Arabia, where they talk about the famous cut that they does was Peter O'Toole holding the match, and he blows it out, and there's this gorgeous cut when it goes from him to the desert. Because back then, like in the 60s, they didn't like do like straight cuts like that like they used to. They used to do like dissolves, but it was just a snap cut instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was very simple, but it was revolutionary for that time because they didn't do editing like that before.
Mm-hmm.
They would always go to a dissolve, but when they did it for that movie, that's when it like set a trend. But the thing is, it's innovations and taking the time out to create memorable moments like that. That's what causes movie. That's what allows movies to have such a longevity, have a legacy to leave behind, because of all the memorable moments that stays with you. Just like if you get traumatized by a terrible event, you also are going to get mesmerized by something beautiful, and it will stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you think of any movies that you've seen in the last 10 years that has such memorable moments where it would stay with you? Have you ever seen those? Hardly ever.
I'm about to say I know one. I think everybody know one. The Avengers, the infamous snap. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
Yeah, that's going to something else though. Yeah.
That's what the Marvels. But the thing is, hardly ever you will see movies where they take the time out to create memorable moments like that. But Tom Cruise does. As crazy as it is, as crazy as it is to him doing all these crazy stunts, ask yourself, a few years' time, are you going to ever forget it?
Mm-mm. You can't forget it. I mean,
you can't.
You can't. The man just look. He ain't really go too much into it, but again, no copyright strike. You too. This man just did something at the Olympics. The ending. He did a Mission Impossible joint at the Olympics. I don't know if you knew about that. You saw it. Yeah, I'm like,
I did. I don't watch the Olympics, but they did talk about it, and I did see that. And I think that was probably, I think he was advertising for, because I'm not saying I saw it or anything, but I'm thinking that he was advertising for Mission Impossible, because if you notice, when you see him jumping, right, you saw the clothes he had on, right?
Yeah.
In another video, when he was introducing Top Gun Maverick at some premiere, right, he was wearing the same clothes when he was standing on the side of a biplane while he was shooting Mission Impossible.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I know that.
So the thing is, but even so, with the clothes aside, the fact that he actually took the time out to do that, look what happened. They talked about it like crazy on the media. Of course, you're never going to forget something like that, but that's what he does. He makes lasting impressions, like moments that will last for years and years to come. And that's the kind of person you want to have. I'm not saying that actors should risk their lives doing crazy stuff, but do something that the people will never forget. And with their craft in acting, they can do that. It can be done. But the thing is, you have to have people who are willing to let them do that. You have to have people who are willing to let these artists do their best work. I mean, do whatever you have to do, get all the contracts, get all the finances out of the way, and then let them work. Let these people do their jobs, what they always wanted to do since they were children. Let them do it, and they will surprise you. But the thing is, the Hollywood system, I feel, is not allowing that to happen. There's certain fears that I have with the system. I feel that it's being used as a means to control the public,
Mm-hmm.
because I guess they feel that maybe we're just dumb or we're just gullible, whatever the case. But the thing is, it seems like they're not doing their best to try to entertain people like they used to back in the day. They're just trying to use it as a way to control us.
Yeah.
And it is, it's reflected in the work.
That's deep. That's deep. What are we talking about? Matter of fact, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go through something. Let me see. We already talked about that one. Yeah, we gotta see what you're talking about. I keep seeing that. I'm curious to see what you're talking about. But she said nope, don't do it. So whatever it was, I'll make sure not to do it. We are. Let's see. It might be for me. Thanks. She said we'll do. I think it's the like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. I think showing love to the TC Lounge. Oh.
Take you on, Jerry. Well, I mean, I guess if they have like a movie trivia category, I guess maybe.
They do sometimes. I think.
Yeah. So, but interesting.
Yeah. Let's see what else she got. Oh yeah, here we go. She gave me some more. I'm gonna jump down to this. I'm gonna jump down to this comment from your aunt here. Yeah, we was talking about Tom Cruise, and look, even she agrees. Memorable stunts.
Yeah, memorable.
That's all I'm gonna say. Listen, we talk about we even talked about the whole infamous Dubai scene when he was hanging off the building, the tallest building in the world. But let's go into something else. Let's see. Here we go. Here you go. You got it. There you go. Memories, right? Speaking of shark, I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember how you hosted a bunch of us high school kids and showed us Deep Blue Sea. Samuel L. Jackson part definitely got us back then. Yeah.
Jaws, yeah. And then look at that. You know how to bring the theater. She done told me it was times where you done set up like a theater and everything, bro. All the movies and everything. So hey, movie man. yeah, movie man. That's it. So I'm gonna turn it a little bit on. We got a little bit more time. So I meant to really get into this part. So, how can I ask this without sounding so? Okay, I'm just gonna ask it. When it comes to movies, right? I'm just gonna say it. God be with me. So when some people write movies, is there a such thing as people writing for the sake of good and evil, or are they just writing based on what they know? If that made any sense, is there like a good and an evil force behind the movie theaters when it comes to writing scripts, or what do you? Yeah.
You mean like as far as their intentions?
Yep, their intentions. Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, it's all a matter of the core of the person. I mean, if you're a person who is of righteous character, then the work that you produce when you write a screenplay, that's what's going to come out. In order for you to do a good job writing a screenplay, it has to come from inside. It has to come from your experiences, and it has to come from your point of view. So if you have a negative point of view, that's what's going to come out. But if you have a positive point of view, that's going to come out as well. So it's not so much that, I mean, whether you're like doing it for the sake of trying to control other people, even though there may be it can be said that some people may actually write that in a way where it does feel that way. But as far as the writers themselves, in order for you to have any kind of to have any kind of piece of work when it comes to writing, you have to have something to say initially. So if you are the kind of person who wants to tell a certain type of genre because the genre fascinates you. It's going to come out in your writing. But if you're the kind of person that's some sort of an activist and you want to like sort of like teach the masses on a certain subject, or you want to force feed your sort of opinion on them, it's going to come out in your writing as well. So it's all about the individual. But if it ever got to a point where a person was going to write something in a way where it was a means to do something terrible or like control the masses, as I stipulated before, AI.
Wow.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
I just gotta look down.
Yeah, that's the thing. AI will do whatever it's programmed to do. So if you wanted to do like, say, like some twisted stuff, yeah, it'll do that. It's a computer program. Why wouldn't it? And we watch movies all the time where you have AI running amok. So I mean, when you think in terms of that, if you have a person who uses such a tool and they use it for like unsavory stuff, then there's a good possibility the AI may even take it a little further because of what's being fed and what it's going to like try and configure on its own, because its brain is constantly evolving. I know it sounds scary, but the thing is, look at what AI has accomplished thus far.
Wow.
And all technology ever does, it continues to advance. So as long as it keeps doing that, if you feed it with negative stuff, it will advance into the negative. But if you feed it positive stuff, it will advance into the positive. But AI is the one thing that can be the one tool that can control everything, including writing. So as far as when it comes to writing from people, it depends on the person's character. That's what you're going to get. Whoever that person is, that's what's going to come out in the writing. Whether they are, whether they feel they're doing it for good intentions, or they want to try and do it as a way to try and force feed or some sort of agenda. It's all a matter of the character. Whereas for AI, it's whoever's programming it. See what I mean?
Yep. Wow. That's deep, man. I have to end on that note. That's deep. Listen. So the moral of the story is, if somebody should write some script, they should probably write something for the good, right? Or should they just be honest?
It's always best to be honest. That's what I do when I write. I write from the heart, and when I'm writing, I write what I see. In fact, the hardest part for me when it comes to writing is trying to write some really terrible pages. I mean,
wait, you said trying to write terrible pages?
Yeah, let me explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
When you're writing, I mean, you want to do a good job. Of the perfect line to explain this is a line from Enter the Dragon, from the villain, Mr. Han. He says, "We are all ready to win, just as we are born, knowing only life. It is defeat that you must learn to prepare for." And the thing is, we all want to do good work, no matter what it is. We want to succeed. We don't want to fail. But the thing is, when you are writing something, right, you have to have the courage to write some terrible pages, because it's all about trial and error. It's a very organic process. So write what's in your heart, no matter how good, no matter how bad it is. You have to let it out. Whatever feelings, whatever thoughts you have, put it out on that paper, and then have the courage to go back and fix it. That's the trick. You have to let it out first. But if you really want to succeed, you also have to have the strength and the courage to be critical on yourself, and then go back and then double check and say what works and what doesn't. But that's the essence of writing. You have to be willing to step on out there and expose yourself, and then criticize yourself at the end when you start checking, saying this doesn't work, this works, that doesn't work. Edit, and then have it in a nice, neat package.
Wow. That's deep. I would tell you got more my advice, but I think you just gave advice. No, really. So, man, that's good stuff, man. Wow. Well, sir, we appreciate it. Look, we came to the end. We made it, man.
Hey,
Hour and 25 minutes. Hey,
yes, sir.
so I appreciate you coming on, man. Listen, it's always good to talk to you, man. Even if it's here, on the phone, how we do.
Yeah.
It's always an honor. I got to give out my shout outs real quick. Let's go up the list. Shout out to Miss T. We already know who it is. Shout out to the wives looking out. Donzel, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. T Hunter, we appreciate you. I don't know if they still on or not, but we thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Let's go down the list. Audrey, good.
Yeah.
All right, good to see you. Support. Who else on here? Oh, we gotta call your aunt out, man. Look, family came through and
Yeah,
she
man.
stayed. I don't know if she's still on or not, but we appreciate it, man. Shout out to your family, man. Listen, it's a beautiful thing when family supporting, man. I'm telling you, especially when they're gonna support. You just didn't know when. They just boom. That's it. They come up there like, oh man, it just it make you feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, thank y'all too. We appreciate it. Any last words, sir, before we get off here you want to say?
I'd say when it comes to like movies, I say if you ever come across someone who does something original, whether it's good or it's bad, or if they fail at it, give them the support they need, because it's very hard for an artist to do something original. It's very hard because they all want to do well. But the thing is, I feel, this is my opinion, I feel that we should applaud people in their failures as well as their successes, because if we don't applaud them even when they fail, they're going to only want to play it safe and they're not going to want to try. But but a group of us need to step on up and say, it may not have worked this time, but keep trying. Yeah. And we will come out and support it. We will come out and see it. Because it all comes down to having the courage to present yourself and do good work.
Wow. Thank you, man. Good word. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming though. And thank y'all for watching. Listen, again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. You got any information? Anybody want to reach out to you, man? Like they might have a question or something. You got a page or any way they want to reach out to you?
Not as of yet. I'm probably still I'm going to still work on that, but okay. I'll certainly try and do that.
Okay, cool. But yeah, man, again, we appreciate you. And again, fam, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Until next time, which is probably next month, we're going to working on something, bring somebody awesome next month. Haven't got it yet, but you will know. Until next time, peace. Y'all have a good one.
All right, have a good night, man. Thanks.